Greetings from Tanzania Sociological Associations. Welcome to our presentation, and our topic today is transformation and the sociology. Sociology and transformations, they've got the relationship of hands and the grooves. The sociology rose from the ashes of the result of transformations, and this was an attempt of the sociologists to try to understand what was happening, why was it happening, how was it affecting, how people are being affected, and how could solve and adapt to the emerging situations. The history of the origin of sociology is traced back to the 19th century, 17, 18 in the 19th century. But to be fair, having the universal understanding that sociology is the study of social and the society, then it's not a sin to go back to when the society started to exist. And there is a common agreement among the sociologists that the family is the basic institutions of a society. And the family is made up by a husband and a wife, which later brings children, and then it becomes a family. But sociologists, when they do research, they sometimes rely on a content analysis and the narrations from existing sources. Now, the world is lucky to have holy scriptures, the Quran for Muslims, and the Bible for Christians. Several to that, which is coded, there's a rich body of knowledge on and about the existence of the human society from various societies. Like the Hindu, they don't have a holy book, I don't know. But if you sit the Hindu and they go to the narrations, then you will see the story, the same story like the story which are in the holy books of the Quran and the Bible. Basing on that, then we could say, okay, the first family that we have, that was the Eve and Adam, which was placed by God in the Garden of Eden. So they were given instructions, okay, that they were given instruction of what to eat and where to get it. But they were also given, based on the Holy Scripture, which is either coded or non-coded, that if they had to grow crops, then they had to go to the valley which were irrigated by the water bodies, the drainage around those valleys. So there is no question of rain-fed farming or rain-fed livestock rearing. So based on the scripture, then we know that the basic economic activities, and we know economics is one of the basic institutions of any society, was agriculture. And that's why, based on the 16th, 17th, 18th, and the 19th writings, then which says one of the great transformations which transpired and lead to the rise, the emergence of sociology, was the transformation from agrarian society to industrial society through the industrial revolutions. But before that, at the same time, there was debate happening in the intellectual and the ideological, intellectual and the philosophical issues, which is captured by the Enlightenment. Enlightenment, which is recorded in Europe, and Enlightenment, which is not recorded but can be traced in other societies except rather than in Europe. So, and we could see that the early sociologists were either people who converted themselves from philosophers or were students of the great philosopher of that time. And the philosophers rose when they started questioning the belief which was the belief in the mystical body of knowledge which was existing at that time. So we'll see now that another greater transformations which happened, which transferred and led to the rise of sociology and the existence and the continuous existence of sociology is the Enlightenment, which came about because of the presence of people who started to question, and those were philosophers, who some of them converted into thinking about the society. So we get the early sociologists, the communities and the others and so forth. Now, another transformation which led to the rise and they continue to give the sociologists a sense and an object of study is the transformation from traditional society to modern society. That is leaving the economical issue, and which is an agrarian to industrial. Then we have now two economical things. Then we go to another level of the society level. So the society transformed, as a society, transformed itself from traditions to modern. And that process is ongoing. So, and it's ongoing everywhere because it's an universal issue. Although to a certain level, the extent and the intensity could be not the same way everywhere, but at least the transformation is happening. Then the transformation from agrarian to industrial, and the transformation of a society from traditional to modern, created another transformation, which was the rise of urban areas. So the society came to have rural and urban areas. So the creation and the emergence of urban areas which brought in, which made the society heterogeneous, as opposite to homogeneous, which was traditional or before the society, before the urban areas. This was another also a very great transformation noted, and it has its impact. So sociologists had to learn, okay, these people moved from rural, and now they are in the urban, and in the urban here, we've got people from different upbringings, different culture. How are these people getting together around? So that gives us, and that is still going on even today. Then, another thing was happening at around that time, the secularization process, separation of religion issues from the states. The government was separated, not separated, religion's aspect was taken out of the governance. So the government stayed on its own, and the religion stayed away from it, but within the same society. So what could be the impact of this? What was the impact by then and what was the impact now? This gives the sociologist, gives the rise of sociology, and it gives the sociology the power to move on, to try to understand what is happening. And you could see the impact today. We've got the government and the state and nation where secularization is practiced and where secularization is not practiced. And we could see the impacting which affects the society, and that gives a sociologist a very good object of study. At the same time, and it still continues, there was another development, transformative, which took place in the society. And this was the emergence of new political ideologies. So we've got the capitalism and socialist, capitalism and the communism. So there's some sort of arrangement, republic or non-republic, and there was also sort of arrangement which also was a good reason, and it created a background where sociology rose and is thriving on it. Another transformation was the issue of rationalizations. The relation, when people starting to think and make things and some aspect of society goes their way. Okay? They wanted to think how they are going to benefit in a certain arrangement at the expenses of some members, other members of their society. So that was at the level of an individual, it's the level of the nations, and have got the impact, and that process is still going on today. Another transformation which happened during the 17th, 16th, 17th, 19th, 18th and 19th century, and it still gave the rise of sociology, and it still continues today, is an issue of civilizations. Civilizations. It's like a standard was created which could be a reference to all other societies. So there are societies in the universe here, universally in the global society, which said, okay, this is the standard, and everybody tried to copy, or we are forced into another study. That includes all aspects of life, including what should you eat, what should one eat, and how should he eat it, what clothes should he put on the so on and so on. So this created the reason, created the background which led to the rise of sociology. And is continuing to, the transformation is a process, is ongoing. It didn't stop in the 18th century. It didn't stop after sociology has been lost and become a science, a known science. It became an academic, institutionalized in an academic institution. It is still ongoing, and the sociology is marching on with it. And the evidence of that is given by the writings and the research findings of several sociologists in postmodern time, or immediately after the 19th century. So here, a good example is the research and the findings of the German sociologist Karl Polanyi. Karl Polanyi, in his book, The Great Transformations, brought to the knowledge of the world and the sociologists by his concept of fictitious commodities. Fictitious commodities, according to Karl Polanyi, are those commodities, are those things which were not meant for sale, which is a commodity, but now are in the market and being sold. And he mentioned three things. One is labor. Two, the second is land. And the third is money or capital. According to Polanyi, these things were not meant for sale. They are not commodities. But because of the transformation, now labor, rent, and the money or capital are on sale. Polanyi stands on his compatriot Karl Marx, who said, okay, a human being, an individual has got labor and exchange labor. That when he works at home, washes clothes, cooks his own food, then he uses his labor. But when he gets employed in a restaurant to do the same thing, washing and cooking, then he uses the exchange labor. So he presents himself for selling. He presents himself with a commodity to buy or not to buy. And the no buy or not to buy is what is causing a serious problem now. The issue of unemployment, which was not there before the transformation. But because of the transformation today, unemployment is an issue. And what is unemployment? It's an ability, lack of an ability to buy the commodity which presented itself for sale. The sales which, the commodity which is in labor, exchange labor. Land, another issue, which was not to be a commodity. Because of the transformation, now it is a commodity. Now we could see how people are struggling to have a piece of land on the way to grow crops, which they need for their survival. That is an issue that's creating problem everywhere. It could not have been a problem had it not been a transformation. It's good the transformation brought about in the rise of sociology. Thank you. But it still gives problems and issues which sociologists thrive on it by having an object to study. Then there is the issue of money and the capital, which is serious stuff. People cannot do anything because there is no money, cannot do anything because there is no capital, cannot do anything because there is what and what. And those who have it does not give it for free. It charges heavily on those who want it. Then post-porani, because transformative, as I said, is a continuous process. Now here we have information. The Microsoft now it's a big commodity. You cannot get it until you pay it, and it starts from the lower level. You go to school, you don't get education for free. Before the schools, education was free. It was given freely, it was achieved freely without any cost. But now that is very expensive, you cannot even get it. And if you go to the list of the richest persons in the world, you cannot see a farmer there. You cannot see the owner of land there. You cannot see an individual who is employed to be on the 10 most. What you see that the first 1, 2, 3 could be people selling information. So that is it. But it's good for sociology because it gave us the reason to exist. It gave us the background on which sociology rose, and it gave us the reason to continue to exist, to try to understand it and do whatever we do. On the aspect of modernization, which we saw the Great Transformation, which captured the transformation from tradition to modern. This was the interest of Ulrich Beck, another German sociologist, who has the view that the more we become modern, the more we put ourselves into a risk. So he came the idea we see a risk society. That whatever we are doing, the more we become modern, we become even, and whatever happens, a little thing which happens, it brings the disaster of significant magnitude. This could not happen in the past. As giving an example in Tanzania, in the traditional society, the kitchen was separate from the living house. The food were stored away from the kitchen. The toilet and the washroom were very far away from the homestead. But now all these things are combined in the same apartment, same structure. So if anything happened in the kitchens, the whole house catches fire. So we are more at risk now in the modern time than we were before in a traditional society or traditional society. So another transformations which has captured the sociologists, represented by Professor Guy Standing, is the rise of proletarian society. No, precarian society. Now we are aware of, by that time, during the writings of Karl Marx, that people lost land, and the land went to the bourgeoisie, With the Industrial Revolution and the abandonment of agriculture as the only economical system, the Industrial Revolution, industry is owned by... So the system created the proletarians. People who had nothing, they could not survive on their own without depending on the bourgeoisie, who were owning the means of production by that time. So there is another transformations which lead to the rise of precariat society. The precariat society arose from the selling of labor, exchange labor, which created employment, and employees in relation to employers, that is employers. So what is happening here, according to Guy Standing, jobs. So work becomes job. And the job were occupied by people who have exchanged themselves into a commodity. So they sell themselves to get the job, but the jobs have become fluid. You cannot hold on them. They become seasonal, not permanent, and not paying enough to survive. So in order for everybody, if he is lucky, he needs to have at least 4 or 5 jobs to make his end meet. And there is no connection between the skill you have and whatever you are doing in the labor market. If you are lucky. And if you are lucky, then you become a packer, that you have something always searching for a job here and everywhere. So he catches the serious problem we have now, the unemployment. Unemployment is a result of the great transformation which transformed work to jobs, which transformed labor to exchange labor. And that will continue to bring or to present to sociologists. It contributed to its rise, and it is continued to its existence and the relevance in the society. To try to understand how to solve this problem and how to go about it. So another transformations which is happening, being captured by the postmodern sociologists, is the rise of the individualism. Individualism from individual level to the state level. So it's everybody for himself now. And this is combined with the issue of rationalizations, which gave the rise to give a reason, and they created a background on which sociology rose. And they still continue now. There's now competition, which sometimes leads to conflict that we all know and experience and witness today because of the individualism which has become part and parcel of individuals and the states where an individual exists. And this is well captured by Professor Anthony Giddens, the British sociologist. So, as we said from the beginning, and from the topic, the topic we said is going to be as a subject matter of our presentation, transformation and the sociology. That the things have got an interrelated relationship which give the rise of its rise and the continuous existence and the relevance to the society. Why? Because sociology is try and attempt to understand it, described it, and design intervention measures to mitigate it. Because I don't think a mission to solve all the problems is viable, because transformation is a continuous process, and it is a result of interplay of so many variables and aspects which cannot be controlled. Thank you for listening, and I'd ask you to please subscribe, share, and like. Thank you.